High temperature of 78. And for Tuesday, chance of thunderstorms once again with a high of 80. Wednesday, showers and storms and a high temperature of 75 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 52.
Hey, Clerk Elise, you got a guy who can fix my lamp?
I do. At the Township of Lyons Repair Cafe, neighbors help neighbors repair all sorts of things from lamps to vacuums. Little acts of mutual support that make a big difference.
Hey, Clerk Elise, you got a guy who can notarize documents?
The Township of Lyons has lots of notaries on staff ready to help.
Hey, Clerk Elise, you got a guy?
At the Township of Lyons, we are your guys. Whatever you need, we work to bring more resources right to you.
Check out the Township of Lyons online, Lyons with a Y, lyonstownshipil.gov.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
Driving it home with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez. From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing ass says, she's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
Okay, it's Friday. Everybody happy about that? Are we good? It's Friday. We made it. I'm so excited because I have friends in studio. Joining me in studio is Dr. Suzana Flores. She is, what's the name of the wonderful mental health company that you have?
Oh, it's NOLA Wellness.
NOLA Wellness. The executive chief executive
all
officer.
All that.
Founder,
big enchilada. Sure.
Mastermind behind. Also a native Chicagoan. So thank you so much.
Southside.
So, how does it feel to be back in Chicago?
Oh, great. Right. We love Chicago.
I keep dragging you to the Northwest side.
Yeah, reluctantly, but I'm here. No. I'm glad to be here. But Southside always has my heart.
Excellent. And I know that you've already experienced the roller coaster weather that I'm sure you've missed for a long time.
It's wrong, is what it is. It's just wrong.
It feels personal, doesn't it?
It does. It's like an attack. No. But like, it I don't know. I've been away too long. I've lived in NOLA for a long time. Yeah. And you've brought the bad weather when you visited me.
Okay, let's not go with the curse of Patty happens in New Orleans. Let's see. What was it? One time it was outrageously hot in the spring.
Yes.
When I lost my mother in the streets of New Orleans.
Yes, and we had to find her.
Street, yes.
We had to chase her down in the French Quarter.
Yes, we had to get the police were out with a bolo.
Yes, we did.
for 90-year-old Latina wandering
the streets. And we're like, oh my God, we lost this person. And I'm like, I have to find her mother no matter what I do.
Yeah, I look, you and me both. I was just like, I lost my mother. And yet we found her just chilling in the lobby of a
very nice hotel,
sipping on water. Like she was holding court.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, bringing her things, taking care of her. Like, I don't even know if we needed to find her today. She was fine. She was great. And then after that, I believe the next time I came.
A historical... Yeah, freaking blizzard.
I think if you're gonna go, it was like 100-year snowstorm.
100-year snowstorm. Like there were like snowball fights. Never heard of. Never like in people's lifetime. But Patti Vasquez shows up, right, and then all of this snow out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was quite
dramatic. It was magical.
Hey,
apparently, you have magical powers.
When else are people in New Orleans going to have the opportunity to skitch like we have in Chicago for years?
Exactly. Luckily, I still had my winter coat. Your fault.
And then I came back during Mardi Gras, and there were windstorms. And I believe the chief of police said, "Pee before you party" was the announcement because they were bringing in all the porta potties.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. All you.
I think that was it. That was not the extent of what
I think that was it. Yeah.
I feel like there might
Every time you visit, there's some sort of chaos.
Although the last time I was there was for the wonderful wedding.
Yes.
It was really beautiful. I tell people that story of having the bagpipers and the mariachi for your wedding.
Yeah, yeah. So we had a very unique second line in the French Quarter. It was awesome.
It was wonderful. Now, when I actually, okay, I don't think I should mention this, but the last time I was there was the first day that ICE was there. So actually that was the last time I was there. So I came after your wedding. Yes. So that was not my fault also.
No, that one wasn't. That one was not.
Okay, thank you for not, because I was there during the inauguration. That's when the snowstorm happened, which seems appropriate. But, I know that New Orleans has had a lot of challenging experiences as well. I mean, what's happened since then? Since I was in New Orleans in December was when, we've had things go down in Minneapolis. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, like when I showed up, I mean, I think it turned the city upside down. Like New Orleans is a place of celebration, right? Everybody celebrates every single thing. Like no one is used to that. Not that anybody is really used to that, but we've had that. We had National Guards, like checking everything, monitoring everything. And NOLA is the opposite of that. It's just like freedom, liberation, celebration. And so it really kind of changed the atmosphere. ICE is not there now that I have heard. ICE is not currently. So they made an appearance and tried to intimidate people. New Orleans people don't really intimidate easily, so everyone's like, whatevers. And, like, I'm still going to just party on Bourbon Street. You do whatever, and I think they were just mostly bored and just kind of hanging out, the same thing. But it's not typical New Orleans.
It's not. It was weird to be there because because no one really knew what to expect, right? Because there were all these images coming out of Chicago with tear gassing, kids' Halloween parades and things like that, and people being dragged out of their cars. And so I know initially there was a lot of concern, especially because they were, as you mentioned, doing that show of force. We're going to walk down the middle of Bourbon Street.
Yeah, like the photo op. That was a big photo op moment, but they didn't stay very long, and I was kind of worried because you have like a lot of drinking on Bourbon Street, right? You have, people just... it's chaotic, it's New Orleans, it's the French Quarter, it's Bourbon Street, and like, oh my God, this is not going to be great. Luckily, no major incidents. So, we're lucky that way.
How did folks that that you've talked to, how are they doing with all of it?
They're disgusted. Yeah. I think that's the word that comes to mind. Like, everyone is disgusted at this. Like, we're disgusted at the hatred. We're disgusted at the administration in general. This is not what the United States is supposed to be, and New Orleans is a little different than the rest of Louisiana. It's very liberal, and very everything, everything that's amazing. But people are just mortified and disgusted at everything.
And I know that recently a seat was flipped blue in Louisiana. That's right. A little bit unexpected. So there is progress.
There is progress, and people are getting tired.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I
gotten.
Yeah, I know that as a mental health expert, you are working with a lot of folks. What would you recommend? Because I have been I've been studying Buddhism, actually.
Oh, have you?
My biggest power I feel now that I wish I'd had much when I was much younger was naming my emotions. Like when I feel something, like when I start feeling like not just anxiety, right? Isn't enough to say, oh, I'm feeling anxious. I'm like, why? I'm afraid of something. Like when I can name it, I can slow it down. What is it making this, my heart rate faster, dread, shame. And I treat them like children.
Identifying it, allowing it in, right? Without trying to just change it. Yep. That's called mindfulness.
I never learned that. And I don't
Of course, you're Latino. We don't do that.
We bathe in it. We bathe in the emotions.
We just let all that out. We just let all that out.
Well, not even just letting it out. I know that both of my parents, and I love, and I think I wish that mom had learned how to slow the momentum of thought, right? Like ruminating on something, like because having those conversations, the way you wish something had gone or what you're going to say, like takes so much energy because our brains are so powerful.
Correct.
And it's just, so I think that we're doing a lot of that.
Right. A lot of that and addiction to drama, doom scrolling, all of that.
I know.
But I got to tell you honestly, as a mental health professional, right, like we try to veer away from politics as much as possible. Sure. That has become all of near impossible for us now because it's like, okay, well, we have to still talk about the source of anxiety. The source of anxiety is everything that is going on, so, not only a lot of clinicians, I can't speak for all the clinicians, obviously, right, but a lot of clinicians that I know, including myself, you've gotten to the point of like, okay, we don't talk about politics in session. Now we're like, okay, not only is it okay to do that, right, but like realizing the outrage is also okay. The anger is okay, Good. And using that anger and channeling it into positive action is okay, but we can no longer just not address anything.
Right, I agree.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's to ignore it and to pretend as though nothing is happening. Because we're being the problem is, and I know the word is used quite a bit, but this is such massive gaslighting.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. Like the times 10,000, yes.
Yes, I mean, it almost seems like it's not even a strong enough word because it's been diluted for so many years, right? I mean, and then when we talk about narcissism. And I think that it's not just, we often talk about Trump being narcissistic, but the energy with which people, the hubris or the with their full throats, attacking people online, that social media, like seems like there's an element of narcissism. I don't know if it's narcissism, but politics being identity, or is it partly that cult mentality of even if you're shown all the information contrary to what...
Right. That's the definition of a cult.
Yeah.
Like, you can, have all the evidence in front of you and you're like, I still believe in my cult leader no matter what. He can murder somebody and,
Yes.
At point blank, and I will still... And they have said it. They've actually said that.
Well, does it help that he said that, 10 years ago? If I could shoot somebody on, Fifth
Does it
Avenue?
help? What do you mean, does it help?
I mean, planting that, like sort of the
Grooming.
grooming
There's
them.
a word, yeah. Grooming.
They're grooming them. He's saying it, and they're like, yeah, I mean... He started that 10 years ago.
I think that it has helped to create a cult. If that's the question, yes. I think that absolutely has. And so as a mental health professional, I cannot say that he is a narcissist. However, I do know many psychologists that do believe that he is a narcissist. So I'll go with that. What other people believe, right? he is a narcissist. We are, if anyone has ever been in a relationship with a narcissist, I think some of us, have unfortunately been there, or a narcissistic boss, or, someone, and that basically means someone that is targeting you, that is toxic, that is gaslighting you, that is making you believe that it's your fault when it's not your fault, spewing out different lies, throwing out different levels of manipulation at the same time, so you don't know what to be outraged at first. All of this should sound very familiar, right? We are all under this umbrella of this toxicity, and there's something called learned helplessness, where you get systematically abused enough, that's complex PTSD, prolonged abuse, right? You just become complicit. And you're like, okay, learned helplessness is when you you continue to experience a horrible situation and stop trying to change your circumstances, meaning you stop protesting, you stop being openly outraged, you just kind of accept your fate. And so that all of this is very strategic on his part. Very strategic to make us just, complicit with all of this. And so, we're just too tired to be outraged at the next thing. And so we've just kind of grown into, I guess, a global kind of slump, so to speak. Just exhausted.
It is. We are definitely exhausted. And folks, there's a lot of conversation around rallies. And and this isn't as much in your sort of lane because I struggle with people saying who cares if we do rallies? It's just a Saturday. A rally with a permit is just a parade, right? But at the same time, there is a power in community, in knowing that you're not alone.
Yes. However, let's talk about the psychology of that. Okay. In order to create change, there is power in coming out and sharing your voice and your outrage. That being said, to create the kind of change that many of us want, those rallies have to last way more than just one day on a Sunday when we're all not working. It has to be complete disruption, either weeks or months of sitting down protests, complete, blocking off traffic, forcing the government to listen to the people at that point. Unfortunately, in America, most of us just protest for one day and we're like, yeah, we're disgusted. We don't like this. We will no longer tolerate it. And then we go back to doing whatever we do. And that doesn't create a lot of motivation for change. Yeah. Unfortunately. Well,
do you also, we actually were talking about this earlier in the week that, the idea that it kind of makes you feel good about yourself. I've done enough is what you're saying. Yeah.
Exactly. And I don't want to just, I don't want to knock, not, the people that are coming out and protest. Yes, it does. It is important. And the rest of the world is watching. So yes, it definitely has its place. I'm just saying more. We need more.
But I wonder if it's the kind of thing that almost releases some of the steam so that we don't get more. And we just keep releasing a little bit of steam. And we go, okay, we're safe again. Rather than doing
or the belief of that,
right?
I've done that, but in terms of we also have to protect ourselves mentally. There's a lot going on, and so it's my job, right? And other, the job of other mental health professionals is okay, how do we keep you sane in a world that is insane? And so part of that is okay, you can protest, you can write your senators and your congresspeople, right? And you can vote. Those are the three things that you have, and so at least you're doing that. So that is important.
Right.
All of those things are important. And then you still have to focus on yourself, your family, the things that we have within our control, including those 3 things that I just mentioned, and we just have to take it in increments. Like, okay, what can I do today to, 1, keep myself sane, 2, to try to create a change, even if it's like saying to someone online or your friends, I don't agree with what you just said. Even just something as simple as that, you're still doing something.
Right. That's Dr. Suzana Flores, the CEO, the founder, the whole enchilada of NOLA Wellness. And we're going to take a break here. I want to thank our sponsors, Source Solar. Go to source.solar. Make an appointment with Peter Sorellis. Maybe it's time to get solar panels on your house or business. He will walk you through that process. Go to source.solar. And our friends at Minocqua Brewing Company. Go to minocquabrewingcompany.com and support the work they do there by perhaps buying some fun progressive swag or, it is and always will be the Gulf of Mexico Mexican lager, which is my favorite. And also perhaps support our work on Substack. My next column will come out on Monday. I don't know what it's about yet because really everything happens on Saturday and Sunday these days. Hey, open the effing straight, you crazy bastards. That's what happened last week on Easter. And we also want to thank our friends at Pride Coffee Roasters. Go to pridecoffeeroasters.com and put in an order for a bean subscription for some of the best single origin roasted beans to order that you'll ever have. pridecoffeeroasters.com. And thank you to our friends at Are You Really Winning? As you know, my father struggled with gambling addiction. And as a child, I wish that there had been services and support like there is from Are You Really Winning? Go to areyourreallywinning.com or call 1-800-GAMBLER. More after this on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150. We'll open up the phone lines and take your texts at 773-763-9278. We'll be right back.
It's the Democracy, Stupid, with Edwin Eisendrath.
Americans in the founding generation didn't fail to build a palace. They chose not to build a palace. George Washington designed the Oval Office, well, its predecessor, so that hierarchies of rank weren't built into gatherings in the space. Trump's Golden Ballroom is the architectural repudiation of those egalitarian ideals.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. on WCPT 820.
In 1776, we defied a corrupt king, and the America we love was born from that defiance. Now it's time to do it again. America is in crisis, but patriots across the country are standing up to save her for ourselves and our posterity. Show your support with the No Kings lapel pin, a 1-inch by 1-inch standard American flag lapel pin embedded with our No Kings symbol. So much better than that tacky red hat. It's a subtle but powerful way to say you've had enough of wannabe dictators and you're doing something about it. Every day, keep our movement going by wearing this pin that clearly says what freedom-loving Americans are thinking. There are no kings in America, and there never will be. Go to store.politicalvoicesnetwork.com. That's store.politicalvoicesnetwork.com. Get your No Kings lapel pin now.
Chicago's Progressive Talk, WCPT 820, where facts matter.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
Patti Vasquez is taking your calls now.
All right, let's hit it.
At 773-763-9278.
I got a lot to say.
It's Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
I hope you have a lot to say. I think we all have a lot to say. I know we're thinking a lot of things. Joining me in studio is Dr. Suzana Flores. She is a doctor of psychology.
That's correct.
She is the CEO, the founder of NOLA Wellness. Would you share the website if you want to find out more about the work that you do? No, we don't have to. All right, then. No, we're not going to do that.
I will in a bit.
We will. It's all good. So yesterday, apparently, a lot of chaos in the White House. The White House, I don't know if when Melania told anybody that she would like to make a a public statement. Apparently, the president did not know because Drowsy Donnie was not aware.
I don't even know what to believe, right?
So she came out and said that, and I like to do accents, but I'm not going to do this one. But she came out and said that she didn't have anything to do with Epstein, that she wanted the lies to stop about the fact that was how she had met Donnie, but that all the women who are accusing him or say that they are survivors should be able to testify in open hearings, which was really, and it was, I mean, first of all, for the people who are going through all the images that we have of Epstein with his arm around her and with them together and cuddling with them, like, is that gaslighting, or is that her craziness? Is that
is classic gaslighting. It does make people wonder what prompted this, right? Like, no one's asking you, but thank you for bringing it up, right? Because all the, you just brought Epstein right back to the right. Thank you, Melania, right? For that. So here's the thing. When you make a proclamation that is not prompted, that's pretty much admission. So it would be like me just coming up to you and saying, hey, Patty, it's not that I'm angry at you. You'd be like, chances are you're probably angry at me. Otherwise, why would you bring that up?
Yeah.
Or like I had a friend of mine a while ago saying like, oh, I had this date, but like, we didn't have relations, any kind of intercourse. I'm like, yeah, you so did.
Yeah.
Right. And you so did because you said it. Right. So it does call into question, like, why she's all of a sudden, like there's something coming out, most likely it's coming, or there's a book I heard or something. But everyone, it makes you go, why are you really? Okay. Yeah. So guilty. Because otherwise, why would you do this? No one's asking you.
Yeah. But thanks for the heads up.
But thank you for that.
Yeah. Appreciate that. Let's see what's on Jim's mind. Because Jim is our first call. Hey, Jim, you're on me and Dr. Suzana Flores. What's on your mind?
How are you? Did you move to Mexico? Your guest, the host,
No, it's a different guest. Yeah.
Okay. When somebody moved to Mexico. Anyway, these negotiations are so delicate. And why Trump's wife would come out on a Thursday, whatever day it was, with these delicate negotiations for peace is, I don't know what to say. But because the only thing I'm concentrated on is that. And you've got the vice president going there. You got Witkoff, and they don't want to talk to Witkoff or Kushner. They've already said that several times over the last couple of months. They didn't want to go near those people because they know what a horrible job they did in Palestine. But what the problem is here is the vice president has never mentioned the Israeli point of view in this. He keeps saying that, well, we haven't agreed to stopping bombing in Lebanon, but at the same time, that's one of the sticking points for Iran. Now, something's got to hit the metal's got to hit the road here somewhere. But can you guys guess why that's left out of the equation?
As far as like that we're doing this for
Israel, yeah, they're demanding Israel stop bombing Lebanon. Iran is.
And this is the problem from the beginning of Trump, of the administration saying that we have a ceasefire, and then they can't. It wasn't in writing. They aren't telling us who negotiated it. And they're just saying it happened, and yet there were missiles and attacks happening within hours of it. As you mentioned, Tehran is one of the places that they continue to attack. So I don't know. We already knew it was BS to begin with.
Yeah, but the point. But see, this is not. There's something drastically wrong with this plan.
Of course,
because they have to stop. They have to stop. Israel has to stop bombing these places, and they must know that. I mean, we supplied it with the weapons. We give Israel all the weapons. So if we cut them off with weapons, they couldn't bomb anybody. So the point is, there's got to come the Jesus moment here somewhere over the weekend. I just got my fingers crossed.
I don't see that happen. I don't see that happen.
You don't think so? You don't see it happen. You don't think there'll be a peace? You don't think there'll be a peace treaty?
Why? They have all the chips now.
They're holding all the cards.
They hold all. We gave them the cards.
Yeah, but Patty, remember that they believe this or not, they reported on this in the discussion on that Saturday night before they started bombing, and somebody brought up the Strait of Hormuz. And it was just discarded like you would discard a joker in a poker deck. And but the point is, it's got to. I don't want to see anybody else killed. I don't want to see innocent people killed. I don't care where they're at. And that's what they've got to bring to the table here. They've got to bring some empathy with them when they make these negotiations. They've got to think about the poor people that are being bombed and displaced. You've got
You know that if any concern was made for human life, we wouldn't have also bombed a girls' school and then not
to begin with.
Yeah. So I don't.
Yeah, I know that. But this is. I'm more optimistic about it. I think that the rest of the world wants nothing to do with this. Germany, Spain threw out the ambassador to Israel months ago. Threw him right out of the place. He got to go.
I don't think compassion is one of the main traits of this administration.
Well, no kidding. Look at the ICE on the streets, putting people in prisons. Right. I mean, that's bad enough, isn't it? But I'm just hoping that we're getting some good news this weekend. And you guys have a good weekend. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. You know what? I'm going to take. I know that I'm up against the break, but I think I have a little bit of wiggle room here. Paul from Seattle, what's on your mind, my friend?
Let me just start this way: is that my favorite equivocation is, it's not that I don't trust you, Patty. It's just that I don't think I could throw you very far. How's that one?
Okay. Yes, that's one of those things you were saying earlier. I'm not mad at you, but. Dr. Flores.
Right, yeah. Well, look, a couple things. I would think, first of all, Israel's got to be running out of munitions, too. I mean, as much as the United States has spent. And, if they get much of them from us, then we need to have a serious conversation about how much they're going to get. But the most outrageous thing is this open threat by Donald Trump's Department of War on the Pope.
Oh, yeah. We have yet to talk about that.
Yeah, that was, and here's the thing.
The Pope.
By the way, folks who want to come into my DMs or on my comments and tell me that it was lies, the Vatican is reiterating the tone of the meeting at the Pentagon where the French cardinal was invited, and they it wasn't even implied. They said, not for nothing, but it would be a shame if that Avignon papacy thing happened again. Like they went mob. Like it would be nice. It would be a shame if something happened to that religion of yours. That's a nice religion you got there.
It was not subtle.
Yeah, that's not veiled. It's not implied. No. That is when you're talking to the Pope, that is as direct a threat as it gets. And by the way, this is not only the first and only American Pope. He's an American citizen, and he's being threatened by the United States. He's by the president.
Thank you for that. That is a good point.
That is a threat on over 1 billion Catholics, let alone 1.6 billion Christians. I just think to threaten, that is just so outrageous. And so because, the second, when we put Trump in office the second time, this damage of relations to our allies and the rest of the world is going to be a decade or two. The only way to start repairing it is now with Democrats just calling for Trump to immediately step down. Not that it's going to happen, but at least to show the rest of the world that they're not all of us are that crazy. We have to say that no, that's gone too far. That is way too far, and we can't wait. We cannot wait for the crazy Republicans to hit bottom, because there is no bottom for them. So we have to let other people know that he has to step down. Whether the Republicans are going to do it or not is within the powers that they have. We have to say that. Just say, no, this is enough. This is enough, and we're calling for that. And there have to be some Republicans that are Catholics or Christians or whatever. You don't even have to be a Christian, for crying out loud, at this point. This is outrageous. That's a threat to bring up the Avignon assassination is to the Pope. That means, listen, the Pope knows everything there is to know about being the Pope. The whole history of the papacy, he knows it all.
Right. So not to mention cursing on Easter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and this is Pentecost. This is Pentecost. I mean, so in other words, this is not something. You're not speaking in some smart guy language like, we ever heard of that evidence thing? No, the Pope knows exactly what you mean, and that's why he's not coming. That's why he's canceled his. Yeah.
As I've been mentioning, not only, I mean, they try to intimidate. And when I say try, I know they did. But you think you're going to intimidate the Pope? He's not just the Pope. He's from Chicago. And he's a Sox fan.
And he's a Southsider.
I mean, what
Hello.
What are you doing? These are not the fights that you pick. Not any sane person. Paul, I got to run. I got a guest coming in studio. Yeah. Thank you so much for calling in, my friend.
Take care.
Talk to you later.
Okay.
Let's take a break here. When we come, we have in studio with us my guest co-host for the show, Dr. Suzana Flores, who is the proprietor, the executive CEO, the mastermind behind NOLA Wellness. And we'll talk more with her when we come back. And when we come back, we'll also have Miguel Valente, who's a Democratic candidate for Sangamon County Board, District 18. More in a moment on WCPT 820, Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150, and KTNF AM 950. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Partly cloudy skies tonight, a low temperature of 38 degrees and light northeast winds. Sunny Saturday with a high of 48 and east winds at 5 to 10. Sunday, showers and a few thunderstorms with a high temperature of 75. Monday, we'll see scattered showers and storms with a high temperature of 78. And for Tuesday, chance of thunderstorms once again with a high of 80. Wednesday, showers and storms and a high temperature of 75 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 52.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
Joan Esposito, live, local, and progressive.
What we do here at WCPT is more important than ever. And in addition to telling you about the latest outrage, I hope we all also offer you hope. You're not alone. We're all in this together. We are all resisting together. We are all going to work for the causes that are near and dear to our hearts.
Joan Esposito, weekday afternoons 2 to 5 on WCPT 820.
Whoa there. Where do you think you two are going? This is a union-only job site.
Hi, we're from ABOC, a leading business and labor union bank founded over 100 years ago in Chicago.
Good to know. We only let union members on this site.
ABOC was founded by labor union members. We have union leaders on our board and union employees to this day.
Okay, you've got my attention.
As you know, labor union banking requires experience and expertise.
Tell me about it.
Hi there. Labor unions get the advantage of our oversight and regulatory experience.
Get to the good part.
Hundreds of labor unions trust ABOC for their banking, including treasury management, investments, and construction loans like this one.
You worked on this job?
We sure did.
Just ask your boss.
Okay. Why didn't you say so? Come on in.
Thanks.
Hey, don't forget your hard hats.
Trust ABOC, the bank for labor unions.
Hey, learn more at ABOC.com. ABOC is the brand name for Amalgamated Bank of Chicago. Member, FDIC.
Because facts matter. You are listening to WCPT 820.
Aqua Brewing Company ships right to you because drinking progressively shouldn't require a road trip. You need to try it is and always will be the Gulf of Mexico Mexican Lager. Yeah, that's the real name because when our, let's be generous and say cognitively adventurous president tried to erase 5 centuries of geographic history with an executive order, the sane half of America grabbed a cold one and said, nah, it's crisp, it's Mexican style, and it pairs beautifully with common sense. And the Freedom Trail Kolsch, smooth, easy drinking, inspired by World War II escape routes that saved lives fleeing Nazi tyranny. Because resistance isn't just a bumper sticker, it's a tradition worth toasting. Order online anytime at BenaquaBrewingCompany.com. They'll ship it right to your door. And for our Collar County friends, find them locally at our Tolly Wine and Company in Rockford, Bootleggers Liquors in Frankfurt, Westside Liquor in Morris, Liquor World in Kankakee, and the Deli Llama Store and Cafe in Lake Villa. Minocqua Brewing Company, progressive beer for people who still give a damn.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue to drive it home. My guest co-host today is Dr. Suzana Flores, the executive director of NOLA Wellness. NOLA Wellness can be found at...
what is it? NOLA Wellness, NOLA-wellness.net.
Oh, right. NOLA-wellness.net.
I always forget the dash.
And we also have in studio with us now candidate for Sangamon County Board, District 18, Miguel Valente. Am I saying your name correctly?
Yeah, Valente.
Hi, Miguel. Welcome to the studio. You were so sweet. He came in like apologizing about traffic. I'm like, you're on time. It's okay. And by the way, we would have worked it out. So, I never want anyone to feel stressed about coming in here. This should be a fun experience. Hi.
Hi.
So tell us about yourself. Where are you from originally?
Yeah, I grew up on the south side of Chicago.
What?
So
What is this?
area. No, serious.
South side?
Yeah. Born and raised in the south side of Chicago. My parents Guerrero, Mexico. So if anybody looks at the map at the bottom, pretty much the little tail.
Which town? Which?
Guerrero.
Oh, I'm not familiar. Guerrero. Okay.
So yeah.
So my family's from the far north. My mother's from Coahuila. Oh my God, my brain is see that.
I'm telling your mama. I'm telling her.
Yes.
So my mom grew up in Acapulco. So and my dad grew up 3 hours away from it. So a little town that's like low internet reception, all that. So Rancho. In other words, like Western town. So.
Excellent. Where's your family from originally?
My mom is from Jalisco. My father's from Tampico.
Excellent. So what, growing up in Chicago, and what drew your family to Chicago, actually?
So they wanted a better life, and so luckily they migrated to Chicago, and so pretty much themselves and my family, and I luckily was born in Chicago, so I grew up there, and by the time I was 7, by the time I was 5, my mom lived there for 2 years until she suddenly passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you. And then I went back to Chicago with my father and my stepmom, and now I've been blessed with 4 siblings who live in Chicago. And by the time I was 16, my dad ended up going back to Mexico because he was trying to find better treatment towards his disease. I think he has epilepsy. So
and
then I graduated high school with the support of my family and that, and I was in the Army National Guard at the age of 17. So yeah. Afterwards, I served 7 years in the Army National Guard. Throughout that time, I was deployed 13 months in a border mission in Texas, and then I did a state deployment during that time in 2022 when the government activated us during that time when Governor Abbott sent out refugees from Texas to Chicago. So that was a part of that too. And during that time also, I managed to earn a bachelor's in political science and a master's in public administration from the University of Illinois Springfield. And so that's where you
ended up in Sangamon County.
Yeah. So,
okay. I was trying to figure out. I'm like,
that's why
incredible journey.
So yeah, I had a great UIS admissions college at UIS that came to Hubbard High School. That's where I graduated from. And he was like, yeah, you should go to UIS because the small school size and not too far away from home, but close enough that if I ever wanted to go home, 3 hours away. So. And yeah, and what I do today, I work for the Illinois Governor's Office of Management and Budget as budget analyst.
OIMB, folks. Yeah.
GOMB. Yeah. Before that, I was a year and a half I left as a financial planning analyst under the City of Springfield Office of Budget Management. So I was working with the current and then the last administration with their budget. So on the city side.
Oh, amazing.
Wow.
So you've been working in government, in the military, but also so when Governor Abbott was sending refugees to Chicago, like what was the energy like amongst your fellow soldiers?
This mission obviously was special because we were able to, my job was to be an administrative person. We were, in this case, my unit, we were at a north side of Chicago, like it was a shutdown YMCA at this time. Can't recall.
Oh yeah, High Ridge Y.
Yeah.
Off of, I believe, off of Western Avenue.
Yeah, we're in coordination with Cook County and City of Chicago and other like nonprofits like the Red Cross for sure, definitely what I can remember. And our job was to make sure they would feel welcome and connect with resources and just make sure they were prepared for their next steps in life. And that was a really great mission. At least I was there for at least 2 to 3 weeks, and it was great. They felt really welcome. They were able to just feel like welcome home, especially what they were going through. Like it was like a really great experience from my perspective. And also I was able to speak Spanish, make them feel welcome and assist them anyway. So, and
That's fantastic.
Because for folks who don't know, when Governor Abbott, I think so much has happened since then, but when it was happening, Governor Abbott was putting people on buses without telling them where they were going. In some instances, they were just like dropping them off in the middle of neighborhoods.
Terrifying.
Sometimes in cold weather, and they were coming up from Mexico, from Texas, from other countries south of Mexico as well, without any connections to the city. It was and a lot of folks were sleeping on sidewalks in front of police stations. So I always thought that the use of High Ridge Y was brilliant. And there were other YMCAs that had been shut down that I wish they had used as well and repurposed for that situation.
Yeah, it was like such a great mission, and it was very well used of resources.
So what was the inspiration moment for you to say, I want to run for office now?
Actually, when I was 16, after the 2016 election. So for anybody who knows,
a lot of people, I think. Yeah.
Shocker.
I was born in 2000, so I graduated high school in 2018. So that's all I am. Today I'm 25 years old, and when that happened, I wish I voted. I wish I could do more, but I was like, man, I was really upset. If it wasn't for that election, I probably would have been focused on doing something with computers, or who knows what I would be pursuing today.
Who knows where we'd all be? Believe me, I've had those. I think we've all had those nights.
But you decided you had to be part of the change.
Something like that, whether it was behind the scenes or anything. And after my master's, I started to be involved, like officially, just volunteering for running campaigns, and that's what happened. By the time I finished my master's, I was like, oh, sure, I'll help campus, knock doors, and it just became kind of super fun for me, like a hobby. And the next thing you know was last summer, I was like, you know what, I think I want to run for office. I looked at my numbers, and I did decide to run against an incumbent, which is kind of weird. Obviously, like for the ordinary, it was a Dem, and obviously I said I was going to do it. I picked up my petitions and filed for my own. I did my own campaign paperwork, that's really not easy to do. If you want to do that, that's awesome. You can learn that through online.
And when you say your campaign paperwork, you mean like opening up the pack?
Yeah, my own pack, and then I even file my own petitions. So
wow,
collecting my own signature. So
because it costs about $5,000 to hire an attorney to do all these things that you're talking about.
I didn't do that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I just said.
Oh, you just did it yourself? Or?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it can be done.
Yeah, it can be done. It's a lot of questions, and also it's actually detailed just in anything in life. So I did that, and obviously, it's always good to ask help or, see how others have been doing it in the past.
Sure.
You volunteer. So I did that, and I was successful. And for my case, I just needed 6 signatures to get on the ballot.
I'm sorry, how many?
6.
Get out of here.
How many do you?
500. We collected 2,400 because you want to have more than what they ask for because people will challenge. But I'm guessing with 6, you could get 12, 30.
Three of them.
How many did you end up getting?
I submitted 100.
Good.
There you go.
Yeah. Undeniable is what you need to be, right?
Yeah. So I did that, and then, I did that, and obviously my opponent didn't expect it. It wasn't for me. He would have been on the ballot in March with uncontested and November uncontested. So, and obviously it was an intense primary in my opinion, and my party didn't endorse anybody, and they were neutral. Obviously, in my opinion, I still think they were supporting him behind the scenes because he had resources, he had access to party resources, unlike myself.
Manpower, all those things.
Sure, whatever he had. And he was incumbent, so it was, again, I didn't ask permission. I was like, I'm just doing it. So it was pretty fun.
Yeah,
good for you.
What they will tell Democrats, that if there's an incumbent, they'll say, wait your turn. I was told that in 2019, and I'd like to see what exactly.
Wait your turn?
Wait,
Yeah.
oh. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, can I pretty please? I'm like, no.
You have to ask for permission. I was told that if I ran for office, it was political suicide with the Democratic Party of Illinois. Yeah. Oh, it's a thing.
Wait your turn.
Wait your turn. But to your point, I'm not going to wait for someone's permission because I think that where you're coming from is what your vision is, and that we don't have the kind of time. But you want somebody in there who has a sense of urgency,
right? And sense of I don't want to wait a decade or anything like that.
Yeah.
Or, if when I filed and I won in March, I won within 107 votes lead.
Every vote counts, folks.
Exactly, and 2. I won within 62%.
Oh, wow.
My first time running.
So again, undeniable.
Exactly. And, thankfully, blessed. And at the end of the day, and especially when I knocked doors, they were like, oh, I didn't know what's a county board. And because, it's common here and everywhere you go, like, what's a county board person, what's a city position or township or anything like that. And,
right.
If you're listening to this, if you ever thought of considering running for office, you should do it. Even if you don't want to get anything super crazy, you can start by your own party as a committee person. It only takes 10 signatures. you might even be represented right now. So,
what was your answer when folks would ask you, what does a county board member do?
I told first thing I told them was like, do you pay property taxes? That's the first thing we control off the bat. So that, and then we vote once a month. We meet once a month. We vote on, like, in this case, like around public health. We have animal control over there, stuff like that. And, I told them, like, first thing I always get their attention is like, yeah, we control your property taxes, like, so we get to determine that off the bat.
And because folks often think of our state legislature, they're like, well, property taxes are too high in Illinois. A big part of that is because of school funding.
Yeah.
So they don't control the property taxes. That's by every municipality, correct?
Yeah, municipality or county too. Like,
right. Excellent. So we take a break here. I'm engrossed in this story. I want to learn more. We're talking to our friend Miguel Valente, who is running for the Sangamon County Board, District 18. Do you have a website or social media?
I do,
folks
yeah.
should follow?
If you're interested, feel free to follow votevalente.com, VOTE. Last name is V as in Victor, ALENTE.com.
And did you tell Jesse Rojo that you were going to be on today? Because he messaged me and he's like, because Miguel messaged me and it got away from me, and then Jesse nudged me, and then I went back and found the email. So persistence is important. So I'm glad that you did that, and I'm glad that you were coming into town. You come into town quite often?
Once in a while when I can. I was catching up before you. I was with one of my aunts and uncles actually earlier.
Oh, excellent. Well, let's continue our conversation with Miguel. As when we come back, we're in studio as well with guest co-host Dr. Suzana Flores, and you can go to nola-wellness.org. .net. My fault. I was not paying attention. I did not write that down. I should write that down. More in a moment on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal and KKNW 1150. Thank you all so much for being here, and I hope you'll stay. Don't go anywhere. I see you.
Spring is here and summer heat is right around the corner. Is your home ready to stay cool and energy efficient? At Green Attic, they help Chicagoland homeowners prepare their homes for rising temperatures. With over 15 years of experience and more than 1,000 five-star reviews, Green Attic is a trusted expert in attic insulation, blow-in cellulose, spray foam, crawl space encapsulation, mold remediation, and solar attic fan installation. When the sun heats up your attic, that trapped heat can force your air conditioner to work overtime. Proper insulation and ventilation helps keep your home cooler and lowers your energy bills. Green Attic also offers full-service roofing through Green Attic Roofing, including asphalt shingles, flat roofs, Da Vinci, Brava, Cedar, Tesla solar roof, and solar panels options, all backed by the industry's 10-year labor warranty. Spring is the perfect time to fix insulation problems and aging roofs before the summer heat and storm season arrive. Schedule your free insulation consultation today at greenattic.com or get an instant roofing estimate at greenatticroofing.com. Green Attic, healthy home, happy family.
This is the highlight of my morning. Hey, what's up? It's Island.
And I'm Josh.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Bacon, Egg, and Cheese Biscuit is that it's our go-to morning comfort.
And you've got that nice golden fluffy egg.
With a soft, flaky biscuit.
Crispy bacon.
Melty cheese.
You want something quick, you want something convenient, but most of all, you want something good.
There's no better way to start your morning.
There we go.
Start off the morning with a Chick-fil-A Bacon, Egg, and Cheese Biscuit with Simply Orange Juice. Order on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Hey Google, play WCPT.
Streaming Chicago's progressive talk from TuneIn.
Let me tell you about Pride Coffee Roasters. You know how much I love their story. In 2017, they brought home some green coffee beans just to give it a try, a hobby, just to make a better cup of coffee. And here we are, a small batch roaster doing it the right way. Every single cup of coffee is like a love letter in a mug. Their story is still being written, and every bag of coffee you write helps write the next chapter. Every bag of coffee you buy helps write the next chapter. Go to pridecoffeeroasters.com. That's pridecoffeeroasters.com. And I've been talking about problem gambling. My father was addicted to gambling, and I wish there were services like Are You Really Winning? Are You Really Winning is there. There's no shame. You can go to areyoureallywinning.com or call 1-800-GAMBLER. And we'll be talking to our friends from the way back in the days and weeks to come. And let's continue our conversation. Let's do that.
No detours, no distractions. Just bold ideas and real talk. This is Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you for joining us as we drive it home. Joining me in studio is guest co-host Dr. Suzana Flores. You can go to nola-wellness.net.
Yes.
And to learn more about the work that she does there, because we all need a little extra wellness
during this time.
She is a doctor of psychology, and we're going to talk a little bit more about perhaps the mental health of our leader here, Drowsy Donnie, but that's for later, so stay tuned for that. Also joining us in studio is is candidate for Sangamon County Board, District 18, Miguel Valente, and he's been telling us his story as a. Actually, are you still serving with the Guard?
I finished my service in 2024.
Okay.
So I did it for 7 years.
Are you hearing from anybody in the service right now that's concerned about what's happening globally?
Here and there. I still have contact with friends from who I left in the unit, so mixed message. But it's been a while.
Are you kind of relieved that you're not serving right now?
Very thankful.
No, I bet.
I was going to say,
Really?
there's a lot happening right now because you see the ways that you can serve. You know, where does the call to service? I know you said after 2016, after the election, then that you felt a need to get involved. Like you were in high school at the time. Did you start like in school? Were you taught? I haven't. My son was 14, so a little bit younger than you. But did you have a lot of classmates that were similarly drawn to civic duty?
Maybe so, like in their own ways. And then I know my dad served in the military in Mexico, so obviously I was like kind of, and I was like, again, I'm first generation for my family and attending university, graduating university, and serving military. And so for me, I had to like, I guess like set the standard and also like break the class wheel and barriers also. So for me, it was a lot to say like, if you want to, that's fine. But you can always, there's always different pathway.
Right.
You don't have to do the military. That's cool. Great. If you want to pursue art or whatever, sounds great. Just make sure it's something you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when folks that talk to you, when you were at the doors, and by the way, Miguel did win his primary, as he was telling us earlier, by 107 votes. So he will be on the ballot in November. It's going to be a big election everywhere.
Wonderful.
And we are super excited for you. And I know that so hi, Jesse Rojo. I hope you are tuning in. Remind me the organization that he works with for veterans.
Yeah, the Illinois Veterans for Change. So he's the chair, and also I was named the executive director back in December. So my job
way
is
back at 25. Why not?
Yeah, this past summer. So my job is just whenever I'm off the clock, just to help out promote the organization. Encourage Democratic veterans to run for office. So
fantastic.
And we actually had there was a controller's race. Representative Stephanie Kifowit, I thought would be a great fit for that role. But I know that you guys are always looking for veterans who. What would you say to a veteran who thinks that maybe they're not a right fit for office? Because I know you guys are looking for more candidates, and I know we have veterans that listen. What would you say to them?
It's always if you're hesitant, and you want to get a fresh start. Just start by helping out a candidate that's in your neighborhood or somebody you like that you connect to. Start right there, especially a Democratic veteran that's in right now, like Demi Palachuk. She's
she's
real
just one of those, right?
Real close to in November, and others around. And you can even start from your precinct committee person. That's like an entry level. You encourage your neighborhood to just be born of getting out the vote, informing them like who's on the ballot. So that's step one right there.
Excellent. And then when folks ask you at the doors, like what does a county board member do? What are some of the things that you want to accomplish for the residents of Sangamon County District 18?
One thing I really stress about because of my professional background now, which is weird to say, at the age of 25, fiscal responsibility. My county doesn't have a budget office. And the way they do their budget stuff, in simplest terms, they have a county auditor and they have a budget county administrator, which that it works and stuff like that. And obviously, because of state law, everyone in the county has to pass a balanced budget, which is fine. It gets the job done, but I feel like we need that extra eyes, extra like security when it comes to a budget office to make sure there's always a neutral agency that comes and goes. Every 2 to 4 years, we always elect somebody that a board member. President XYZ. When it comes to our county, that office will always function. Whether it's a party's in charge or XYZ, I want that office to say, and make sure we set stronger financial policies and project long-term fiscal challenge or fiscal surplus in the coming years.
And what are some of the things that people need when it comes to that sort of transparency, like access to housing? Like what are some of the challenges that are there for residents in Sangamon County?
Right. In my district reminds me also like back home in the south side, very like impoverished, like, and also like, very disenfranchised voters. Like I felt that myself, like, these people care about me. Like when I knock the doors, I want them to feel like you can talk to me, even if it's bent or like, why am I here? Because these people don't seem like they care. I care. That's why I want them to talk to me. Like, I don't feel like there's enough jobs here. I don't feel like there's enough economic development. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to know. And also like, when we want to do something with the homeless population. First thing, two things I want to propose is a advisory commission focused on economic development and homeless commission.
Mm-hmm.
And, and also I want to make sure we select experts from all purpose of life, all walks of life. And two, like, make sure it's open to the public. People can come in, participate, and, be open, transparent process. And for economic development, make sure we are focusing not just we have downtown Springfield, obviously, but also everybody else. Because, if people stay in Sangamon County and be happy, it helps our economy and it helps the life of Sangamon County long term.
Oh, again, we've been talking to Miguel Valente, who is running for the Sangamon County Board, District 18. You can go to votevalente.com. Great website, by the way. It's it's very user friendly. And some of the endorsements, including, as we mentioned, Illinois Veterans for Change, Run for Something, Progressives for Democracy in America, Vote Vets, who we love as well. New Politics, the Latino Leadership Council, good. I would hope so. 2026 Gun Sense Candidate Distinction. One of the things that I just saw this video in New York of this woman on a train, and this guy had walked through the car with a weapon. And, the accessibility to weapons in this country is something that I think, because of everything else that's happening, it's hard to hocus on some of these issues that are crucial too. And that's got to be a problem in Sangamon County as well.
Right. Everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you joining us, and I'd love to have you back before the race. By the way, the election for those, I know you're like November. I'll think about. No, it's going to be here faster than you know. Early voting will start September 24th. The kids will go back to school, and it'll be time to vote again. September 24th is early voting. You can go to votevalente.com to learn more about his campaign. Do you have anything else you want to make sure that because sometimes people leave and they're like, oh, I forgot to say. Is there anything you want to make sure you say?
Yeah, I just want to give a special shout out to the first group that ever supported my race, Illinois Veterans for Change. Check them out. And once again, to learn more about me, go to votevalente.com, and thank you for your time.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us, Miguel. And we'll be back after this. We'll continue our conversation with Dr. Suzana Flores. We're going to walk through some of the things that we're noticing, behaviors from the President of the United States. Our dear leader. And Dan Schaefer from the Palatini will join us in studio as well. The phone lines are open, 773-763-9278. We will be right back after this on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal and KKNW 1150.
WCPT replay.
I hear a lot of people saying that they hate Illinois. They hate Cook County. They literally, you can just see the passion and the anger when they talk about that. I can't wait to move away. And everybody talks about getting out of the state, which, and I'll be honest with you, I love it here. But yet our house is still a seller's market. There's still more people that want to move in than are moving out. I mean, if so many people are leaving our state, then wouldn't the buyers have more power?
A lot of it has to do with how people identify. People's identity, the things they most cherish. And if you identify as someone who is conservative, you will look at some of the legislation that's been passed, pro-LGBTQ, pro-DEI, whatever other buzzwords that people on the right side of the political spectrum like to point at that are, to them, that are negative values that our government and the majority of our people find enough value in it to protect it, abortion rights, whatever it is.
Keep listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. Vice President J.D. Vance is headed to Pakistan as are Iranian negotiators for talks Saturday on ending the war. Vance spoke to reporters on his departure from the U.S.
As the President of the United States said, if the Iranians are willing to negotiate in good faith, we're certainly willing to extend the open hand. If they're going to try to play us, then they're going to find that the negotiating team is not that receptive.
Many issues could derail the tentative ceasefire. Iran's semi-official Tasnim news agency says the talks will not happen unless Israel stops its attacks in Lebanon, which appeared intense again today. At least 13 Lebanese security personnel were killed in an Israeli strike in southern Lebanon. Hezbollah claimed an attack on a naval base in Ashdod, Israel. Meantime, the impact of the war is now clearly showing up in economic data. Sagar Meghani has the Labor Department's Consumer Price Index.
A big jump in gas prices last month pushed up inflation by the most in nearly 4 years. With the Iran war raging, it was the biggest gas price rise in 6 decades, and that led to consumer prices jumping 3.3% in March from a year earlier, up sharply from 2.4% in February. On a monthly basis, consumer prices had their biggest rise since 2022. The war's gas price shock has changed inflation's trajectory. from slowly falling to sharply moving away from the Federal Reserve's 2% goal. These numbers mean the Fed will almost certainly put off any interest rate cuts for months. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
Stocks closed mixed on the day, but higher for the week and still down for the year. Oil prices actually retreated today. Brent crude settling just above $95 per barrel. West Texas Intermediate, the U.S. benchmark, dropping below $97. And gasoline prices eased slightly. AAA puts the national average just above $4.15 per gallon. This is AP News. Artemis 2 almost home.
We got you loud and clear. The vehicle is in great shape.
NASA commentator Rob Navius.
The weather at the splashdown zone couldn't be better.
They'll eject solar panels and some tanks before going into a communications blackout as the capsule experiences temperatures around 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Navius explains the reentry will be slightly different than the first Artemis mission, which saw pieces of charred heat shield break off in larger pieces than were expected.
We're using a lofted entry profile. That's being done through the raise burn. The duration of the entry is about 14 minutes rather than 20 minutes, and that induces a much lower heat load.
The Orion capsule will eject a hatch and deploy a series of 11 parachutes and drogues to slow down.
USS John P. Murtha is on station, ready to begin recovery operations.
Splashdown is expected shortly after 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm Jennifer King.
There's more news at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
This is 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now, your WCPT 820 weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Partly cloudy skies tonight, a low temperature of 38 degrees and light northeast winds. Sunny Saturday with a high of 48 and east winds at 5 to 10. Sunday, showers and a few thunderstorms with a high temperature of 75. Monday, we'll see scattered showers and storms with a high temperature of 78. And for Tuesday, chance of thunderstorms once again with a high of 80. Wednesday, showers and storms and a high temperature of 75 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 52.
After getting my promotion, the time had come to sell our home, so we got an appraisal.
But it was much lower than we expected. Before we had it appraised again, a friend suggested we make some changes.
I put my framed vintage Negro League baseball shirt, our African art, and family photos into storage, and that second appraisal came back much higher.
It's a shame we had to hide who we are to get a fair home appraisal.
A recent study found that Black and Latino homeowners are about twice as likely as white homeowners to get low appraisals. For example, one Black homeowner received an appraisal more than double the original after removing family photos, Black art, and books from her home. If you believe your home has been unfairly appraised because of race or national origin, that could violate the Fair Housing Act. Contact HUD at hud.gov/fairhousing. That's hud.gov/fairhousing. Everyone has a right to fair housing. A public service message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter.
Driving it home with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez. From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing ass says, she's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you all so much for joining us. We continue our conversation with our guest co-host, Dr. Suzana Flores. She's Executive Director of NOLA Wellness. Go to NOLA-wellness.net and find out about those services she provides. And we are going to talk a little bit about her area of expertise as a doctor of psychology. Also joining us in the studio is Dan Schaefer, host of The Palatini and Tuesdays with Josie, available wherever you listen to podcasts. Dan, you've been busy lately, so we haven't seen you for a bit.
I feel like I haven't seen you in decades.
It feels like that.
Yeah, I know, and I missed you. It's so good to be in the room with you.
Isn't he fun to have around?
So far? Yes, absolutely.
I love having Dan Schaefer here.
It's young, so yes.
Stop. So let me just catch up with Dan first, because I know that it's been very stressful lately. How is your husband doing traveling internationally?
He's on his way to Rome right now.
Is he been called by the Pope to be on the defense team?
Apparently, the Pope, the Cardinal are under fire with people these days politically, or something like, when you question the Pope and the Cardinal,
yeah,
then we got we got some issues here, right? You know, then I question your Christianity, but no, he's
See,
on his way to
Dan is a
Rome.
Catholic, and he's formerly a conservative, and seems to be able to libertarian. Formerly, well, we can say come on.
And now I'm as far left as you could ever be. Like okay.
But he will submerge himself for the benefit of all and watch Fox News and listen to conservative radio
every day.
It's really horrible.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
It's
not fun. Trust me. Trust me.
Taking one for the team.
It's not fun, but I have to. I just feel like I have to see what people are saying.
Do you though?
Do you? Great. Reason? How long have you felt that way?
Would you like to get on the couch here?
It's funny.
We can make an appointment.
When my husband walks downstairs and he goes, "Turn that off," and I was like, "I have to see what they're saying. I have to just know. Like I have to, because I love seeing different perspectives. I really do. And as long as we can come together and have a conversation, and at the end of the day, we both agree that we're wrong, cool, good deal. But as long as I know that you are morality. If I question your morality and humanity, then we are no longer friends.
Fair.
But we can talk about economics. We can talk about this. We can talk about that. But once we get to that point, and you and I have talked about this before, where they in the Rio Grande, where they're like putting barbed wire on buoys and stuff, and kids are drowning. I was like, well, then we're done.
Yeah.
Then we are no longer. But I can talk to you about economics. I can talk about all this stuff.
Here's my thing: we can't, and I do think that Democrats need to tell people what they're running on, what they will do to fight for housing, for healthcare, for wages, those kinds of things. Right now, I think we have to be full throttle. Everything is against fascism.
Agree.
And there's a Latino podcaster, and I wish I remember his name. Is on social media, and a listener called him and was like, so how many people voted for Trump? How many? And the podcaster was like 79, and he's like, 79 million. We're all dumb. And the podcaster was like, that's what I'm going to say. Yeah, you're dumb. I want that to be my ringer. You're dumb. I say deeply dumb, but
that could be a little slogan. You're dumb.
You're dumb.
I agree with that, actually.
I mean...
Just because you have so many people voting for you doesn't mean that you're right. It's just they voted for a con man.
Exactly.
And honestly, what's happening right now? Inflation.
That's a perfect word, con man.
He is a con man. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Inflation is up. No new wars. We're in 2-3.
President of peace.
Yeah,
exactly.
$1 billion a day in Iran.
But the price of eggs,
what?
though. But the price of eggs.
That came down during Easter, so that was
Good Lord.
Yes. So yeah.
Are you, as somebody who is submerged in conservative talk, what would you like to share with us? What are some of the highlights of the last couple of days of how they're reacting to things?
So the ceasefire, which is not a ceasefire,
no,
because they're not ceasing firing.
There's no fire that has been ceased.
It was kind of like Israel was like, yeah, that's cute. We're just going to keep bombing Lebanon, and fine, cool, okay. And then it literally the deal that was struck was everything that was the Obama deal that Trump ripped up. So like the one that like Trump's like, I got the deal, I got the best deal. It was the exact same deal.
Yeah.
The exact same deal. And honestly, the one of like the cliff notes is that Iran still gets access to nuclear weapons in that deal. Mm-hmm. That was so I'm just like
deep breath.
I'm just like, okay, so we're at the same spot that we were, but we've been $1 billion.
We're not even in the same spot. We're in a worse spot because the Strait of Hormuz is closed, and they want a toll. And then he came out and said, "Well, I want some of that money then, because you forced them to close it or made them close it by attacking them."
But we don't need the Strait, though. We don't.
No, we don't need none of that.
Even though oil is, gas prices are $4.50, $4.70 here in Chicago alone, but we don't rely on that.
I have not even checked
that. We don't need that. Yeah, no, it's scary. But we don't rely on the Strait of Hormuz. No, it's not at all. We don't.
Not at all.
No.
Let's see. Roosevelt has called back in because I put him on hold for a while, and then I could not talk to him. I can talk to you now, Roosevelt. You're on with my guests, Dan Schaefer and Dr. Suzana Flores. What's on your mind, my friend? Are you there? What's
hello? Can you hear me?
Am I on speakerphone, Roosevelt?
No, you're not. No, you're not. I've been carrying my.
There's a lot of interference on your phone. Go ahead.
Hold on. Let me take it out of my pocket. Maybe that's why.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not on speakerphone, but I was in your pocket? What does that mean?
Okay, you got to give me a chance. Slow it down. Okay, I got the old-fashioned headphones with the wire. So I had the phone in my pocket, my jacket.
Well, you have the headset, like the operator from Time Magazine. You get the football phone. I'm kidding. Okay, what's on your mind, Roosevelt?
Yeah, one ringy-dingy.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
So, guys, this is the way I see it. There's so many things that changed my topic. One, you are absolutely right, Patty. I want to start with Latinos. There's so many knuckleheads right now that to this day, educated people, I'm talking about teachers, people that were educated in Mexico, are still supporting this guy. And this is what they say. They say, well, Biden did this, Biden did that, and I returned back to them. And you're talking about the gas prices or the oil prices. So I said this morning, Biden did something. He made an attempt. He went all the way to that, I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy that killed the Khashoggi. What's his name? The prince?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought that up. I remember distinctly that Biden gave him a fist pump, and he went all the way over there to make an attempt for the prices of oil to go down. I also said, and I do remember that Daley, he was from the reserve. He had 1 million barrels of oil to bring down the price of gas. Okay. Then I want to cover also the fact.
Roosevelt has notes he needs to get to. Go ahead.
This thing with the deal. See, Wilfred, because I was listening to Jim, and I have no faith in these people because, first of all, they don't know what they're doing. They, is learn while you're at this. In other words, he has no idea because he never served, and he was never in a situation where you gotta give and take. And Trump's idea of making a deal is give me everything, you get nothing. You get nothing. So
Sounds
I
accurate.
have no faith. Yeah, so I have no faith in them doing a deal. Quote, deal. There is no such thing as a deal. Because all we got to do is look what's going on with Gaza and Israel. It's the same deal. Yeah. They want, because, and you know how I compare it to what he did with undocumented people. It's the same thing. Same color skin, brown people. So just think about that. And then there's an interest for the oil, because look what he did in Venezuela. He did the same thing. So Gaza is the same thing as Putin attacking Ukraine. It's all the same thing. He acts just like Putin and like the guy in North Korea. And by the way, North Korea is helping what's his name?
Kim Jong-un?
Yeah, he's helping Iran, and so is Putin because he's giving away locations for our kids to be killed. So it's all, it's all connected to the dictators.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. So, well, and also the oligarchy. I mean, ultimately, a lot of this, especially when it comes to, all of them. I got to run here, Roosevelt. Thank you so much for calling in, my friend. Yeah, of course.
I appreciate you giving me all this time, and thank you, guys.
Take care. Have a great weekend, my friend. Yeah, there's and I was going to say, he often listens to Spanish-speaking conservative radio, much like Dan listens to. Is there any FAFO sentiment amongst any of the talk show hosts on any of these platforms? No. They double down. Yeah. I was in Madison, Wisconsin, and I heard them talking about, it was last week when Trump came into the Supreme Court to hear the oral arguments about birthright.
The first time that any sitting president went into the Supreme Court. And it was like separation.
Trying to intimidate them. Yeah.
checks and balances. Apparently, well, they've been out the window for the.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Let's take a break in a moment. We have some more phone calls coming in. 773-763-9278. That's 773-763-9278. Want to thank our sponsors, Pride Coffee Roasters. Go to pridecoffeeroasters.com and maybe put an order in for the best fresh roasted beans to order that you can find. I really love their actually, I have it every single day. And you can go to pridecoffeeroasters.com and find out what markets they'll be in the area near you, in the Chicagoland area in particular. I know on May 3rd, they'll be at the Jefferson Park Sunday Market. You know how I know that, because I volunteer at the Jefferson Park Sunday Market. I would love to see you there. That's on May 3rd at the Copernicus Center from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Seriously, Dan, you got to get out to this market.
I've been there.
Oh, that's right, you have.
Yeah,
do you like bread?
I've seen you there.
I'm sorry. I know, but you just come back on May 3rd.
Okay.
Did you buy any bread cult?
I bought that, and then there's I don't know if he's still there, but he has a dog ice cream booth that I bought for all of my dogs.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Was that from Epic?
I think it might have been Epic.
Edison Park Ice Cream.
I should still be here by then, but there's no invitation this way, so.
Oh, I thought you were just staying here for April. Are you coming? Do you want to come all the way back to the Northwest side?
No, I might be here for a little bit of May.
I'll take you for brunch.
Okay.
In the neighborhood. We'll
Deal.
Does Gale Street have brunch? They should have brunch. We'll figure that out.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out. Yes, please come for the Jefferson Park Sunday Market. They have the best. This woman makes the best sourdough bread. We've got Pride Coffee Roasters there. They also have food. Actually, they have a little food court we enjoy. There's so many great vendors. That's on May 3rd, and pridecoffeeroasters.com will have that on their website when you put your order in for your fresh roasted beans. We also want to thank our friends at Source Solar. Go to source.solar, make an appointment with Peter Sorellis. Maybe it's time to get solar panels on your house or business. There are some incentives for businesses that will expire soon, so make sure you take advantage of the opportunity. Go to source.solar. We also want to thank our friends at Minocqua Brewing Company. Please, I don't want to beg, but please put in an order for maybe some Progressive Brew or some great swag, and support the work that we do on Minocqua Brewing Company's Substack. If you become a paid subscriber, you can have access to so much more of the work that we do there. And my column will appear on Monday, which is free to subscribers. We also want to thank our friends at Are You Really Winning? Please go to Are You Really Winning? If someone that you know or yourself perhaps are dealing with a gambling addiction, there is help for you and there is no shame. Please go to areyourreallywinning.com or call 1-800-GAMBLER. We'll continue our conversation when we come back on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul, and KKNW 1150 in Seattle. Thank you for being
If
here.
you're drowning in debt, you need to call Team Hochberg, your trusted local lender, about a fresh start debt consolidation refinance. Today, meet Jordan, 47, project manager, married to Jackie, 43, executive assistant, combined income 260 G's a year, living in a $600,000 home with their 3 kids, called to pay off $120,000 worth of credit card debt, high interest rate consumer loans, and 2 401k loans. Team Hochberg loan officer Cindy Piazza helped Jordan and Jackie pay off their debt, eliminated their stress with the Team Hochberg Fresh Start Debt Consolidation Refinance, which saved them over $12,000 a year. Team Hochberg's helped thousands of radio listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. That number again is 855-563-2843 or visit that website you know and love, 56david.com. Atlantic Coast Mortgage, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 643114.
We got out of Washington State, and I think a week after, state went on lockdown for COVID.
So then when we transitioned to Texas, it was very much so like, what are we going to do now?
Operation Homefront has allowed our family to make something of ourselves again in the world after the military.
It's completely changed the way our life is. It took us from a hopeless situation, and now we're homeowners. We have a savings account. I'm the first one to own a home out of my siblings.
Visit OperationHomefront.org to learn more.
Mom was always very organized. But my sister and I noticed she started to forget things.
Telling my girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard.
But Mom's early detection gave us time to make a plan.
My sister and I were there for Mom and each other.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
No detours, no distractions. Just bold ideas and real talk. This is Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
joining us to continue our drive home. Someday the podcast off the air will be a show, but today it's not because I have wonderful guests that are on the air with me. Dr. Suzana Flores, she is the executive director of NOLA Wellness. Go to nola-wellness.net and learn more about the work they do that she does.
Thank you.
And we also have Dan Schaefer, the host of Politini and Tuesdays with Josie, both available wherever you find your podcast. And you have a market fair season coming up now, don't you? Are you going to be doing funnel cakes?
Funnel cakes, yes.
He does want to do funnel cakes.
I make funnel cakes. It's the things that you're not supposed to eat, but they're really good. I don't eat them, but I've made thousands.
You're just a dealer.
Well,
that's right.
After you make thousands of them, you don't want to eat them anymore. But no, Elmwood Park, 4th of July, and then second week of August, Taste of Elmwood Park. Really, really cool event. Everybody should go. It's a really, really great event. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And we were talking earlier about the Pentagon threatening the Pope. I have a couple Catholics in the room. I have a very eclectic religious background. I was baptized Mormon, confirmed Lutheran, and married in the Catholic Church, and now studying Buddhism, as you do. And so I like this Pope, though, is what
I like this Pope too.
Not just because he's from Chicago, but I like what he stands for. I like what he's saying. All these elements are, I think, important. And then the Pentagon invited his French cardinal, his liaison or ambassador, whatever, to the Vatican, to basically tell them, hey, that nice religion you got there, be ashamed if something happened to it, by invoking the Avignon papacy, which was a schism in the Catholic Church and nationally between the countries, France and Rome and all that. At any rate.
Yeah, the Dalai Lama better watch it. He's going to be next.
And my take is just, did you just threaten not just the Pope? He's from Chicago, and he's
Southside.
He's a Southsider.
Southsider.
So calling and joining us is a Southsider. Dee wants to join the conversation. Hey, Dee, what's on your mind?
Hello, everyone. Are you staying hydrated?
Hold on one second.
Yes, we are.
Hold on, let me go ahead. Mm-hmm. I am. Thank you very much. That was me.
Very good. Very good. Well, yeah, it's interesting. Patty, I sent a text the other day. I don't know if you saw it, about the idea that the Middle Ages haven't really ended, because now you have, of course, the preeminent power threatening the Pope, because that's something you expect to see in the 1300s. You're a history major. I hope you.
Oh, yeah. I'm more of American history specifically, but yes, I also studied the Middle Ages, yes.
In any case, I saw a very interesting pattern between the First Lady and the Vice President as far as the form of their statements and who they plagiarized from. Because Melania, of course, we know for plagiarizing Michelle Obama. Mm-hmm. And that's, of course, shameful. And now she is issuing a statement apparently to disavow her ties to Epstein at the Great Seal of the White House, as if speaking as the president would in times where there was any other president but this traitor. You see? And then J.D. Vance right now is the chief negotiator as far as, well, how do we end this war that the idiot entered into without consent of Congress, except the passive consent of Mike Johnson, saying, oh, well, Congress would just be out of session, because even when the traitor, I'm not going to call him his name because he should forfeit that name. He's a traitor, and we should call it that and normalize calling it. And just, if we coalesce around these things that are, I'm sorry, I'm rambling, I think, but this similarity that both J.D. Vance and Melania have to speak for him. Isn't that interesting? They're having to do all the work, and this is someone that's completely gone mentally, and we're letting him override us. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we know that they steamroll everything. And this is what happens when they capture every branch of the government and have no accountability, no guardrails. And I just don't see any slowing them down. And even with the elections that we talk about in November, it's going to take a lot of work to not just come back from this, but to do better. And that's what Democrats should be working toward.
Maybe, but there's one thing I want to focus on, and the Democrats should help, and everyone involved should help. But 3.5% of the population is about 11 million people. July 4th is coming up. It's the 250th anniversary of the country. Oh, it just happens to be a quarter millennium. If that's not the time, what is? And we just, first of all, May 1st, don't go to work. Shut the system down. Don't consume. And then on July 4th, we crowd the Capitol and say, no more. This is not helping any of us. I think we might have a chance. Otherwise, we just sit and wait, and it can always get worse.
Yeah.
You know?
No, and Dr. Flores was talking about that earlier. It's got to be more sustained. It's got to be aggressive. I mean, in the sense of, drawing attention.
Yeah, like we can't just protest for one day.
Yes.
It has to be complete disruption. Like, having the government fear the people, not the people fearing the government.
To each other. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was just saying, other countries, do protests a bit differently and perhaps better, where they understand that they have to create chaos and disruption in order to force the government to cease what they're doing or to change. But showing up for one day doesn't really create change. It makes your voice heard, which is still important, but it's not going to change the government.
Right.
You're right. That's well considered.
Well, thank you, Dee. It was wonderful to hear from you, and you were not rambling. I appreciate what you had to say. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.
You as well. It's a lot happening. We do want to. What else has been top of mind for you, Dan? Like when you're.
Well, honestly, what she just mentioned, it's John Lewis, good trouble.
Yes,
you got it.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it's we don't condone violence on the Patti Vasquez show.
Or on WCPT.
Or on WCPT, but it's the definition of riot.
I was going to say, that being said, our guests do not reflect those of the station.
The definition of a riot is when you're not heard, you have to make your voice heard, right? And so I always condone, we can protest, we can do, I was downtown last week and I didn't even know it was happening. And it was a transgender promoting protest. And I was like, yes, I'm here for this. Mm-hmm. But it's once you leave that protest, you got to do something else.
Right.
There's a step 1, step 2, step 3, right? It's you take
You
away.
have to, a longer fight.
There are takeaways of I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. I agree with you completely. And I think right now we see our democracy being dismantled because there are no checks and balances. And so yes, we can go in the streets, we can shout, we can scream, but there needs to be takeaways of all right, so I'm going to go home and I'm going to do this.
Right.
I'm going to go home and I'm going to do this. I'm going to go and help with that and pound doors and all that stuff. That's the thing.
Well, and I think that's, and I know that Indivisible Elk Grove Township, when we did our event at Elk Grove Village, they had a democracy fair. So you had a lot of tents for different organizations to make sure you're registered to vote, to make sure that what events are coming up, how to get more involved, how to sustain that energy, which I think we need more of. And it's also on the people that go to those rallies to seek that out, right? I think a lot of people are, we can't wait to also be led. We don't have a Martin Luther King Jr. who's, inspiring us to get out of our homes and into the streets.
That's the other problem, right? We don't have the leadership. Right. To be able to say, okay, we're going to take to the streets and for weeks, months, however long it takes.
Right.
And I think there are religious organizations that are trying to do that kind of organizing all over the country, and it may have to come from the churches to get their congregate. And maybe that's another thing. Find out what your church is doing, what organizations in your community are doing the work, whether it's mutual aid, whether it's organizing, protesting, supporting the families who can't leave their homes because they're afraid that ICE agents will get them, so they're bringing them groceries and financially helping them. So there's a lot of, I think that's when you feel powerless, then you don't wait for someone to give it to you.
Right.
And that's what we're talking about is protesting, too.
Yeah.
We have to take power back, too. Let's take a break here and continue our conversation with our guests, Dr. Suzana Flores and Dan Schaefer. We'll continue our conversation on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul, and KKNW 1150 in Seattle. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Oh, you can also watch the live stream. Hi, everybody. I don't have a baseball hat on today, so I probably should. I should have made that like a quiz. What was that? Yeah, I had to go. I did my bangs. They were down. I've been wearing baseball hats so much. My bangs were. I did cut my own bangs. Did I do okay?
You did great.
Fabulous.
Is that right? But yeah, I had to go somewhere today. I'll be right back after this. Everybody, they'll be here too.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
I'm meteorologist Ray Miller from the Weatherology Weather Center. Partly cloudy skies tonight, a low temperature of 38 degrees and light northeast winds. Sunny Saturday with a high of 48 and east winds at 5 to 10. Sunday, showers and a few thunderstorms with a high temperature of 75. Monday, we'll see scattered showers and storms with a high temperature of 78. And for Tuesday, chance of thunderstorms once again with a high of 80. Wednesday, showers and storms and a high temperature of 75 degrees. That's the latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 53.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
I've tried everything to stand out at work. Donuts, a company coffee blend, even dressed as the company mascot for Halloween.
There's an easier way, a ComEd facility assessment. Their engineer gave my company free insights and actions that saved us $732,000 on energy. Easy, right?
Learn how ComEd can help you save at ComEd.com/facility assessment. ComEd, powering lives. Savings will vary based on customers' usage and rate.
Tell me how you're doing, really. Tell me that you missed the bus this morning, your rent's past due, and your stress level has skyrocketed. I'm here for you. To listen, not judge. To connect you to local mental health resources. No matter what you're going through, specialists like me from NAMI Chicago Helpline are here for you. Call or text Helpline to 833-626-4244. That's 833-626-4244.
1 in 10 people age 50 and older in the U.S. have early age-related macular degeneration.
Because macular degeneration often has no early symptoms, many don't know they have it until irreversible vision loss has already occurred.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments.
Schedule a comprehensive eye exam to protect your sight.
Macular Degeneration Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Go to stopamd.org to learn more.
You're listening to WCPT 820, because facts matter.
Here's great news for those Chicagoans heading up to southern Wisconsin. Should you ever forget to load up on progressive brews from the local favorites like Rogers Park Provisions or Park West Liquor in Lincoln Park, Minocqua Brewing Company beer is now conveniently available at Dream Liquor and Cigar in Kenosha and in the Lake Geneva area at Delavan Liquor and Smoke in Delavan. If the great town of Madison, Wisconsin is your jam, please remember to swing into the Minocqua Brewing Company tap room at 2927 East Washington Avenue to grab some Resistance beer, pizza, t-shirts, and progressive camaraderie.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
We are going to take some more phone calls. I also want to make sure that we address some of the elements of what Drowsy Downey seems to be going through physically that a lot of medical professionals have been observing. We're in studio with the host of the Palatini, Dan Schaefer, as well as Tuesdays with Josie, available wherever you listen to podcasts. Dr. Suzana Flores, who's a doctor of psychology, has some thoughts on what she's witnessing. With a lot, like I said, a lot of medical professionals have shared their thoughts on what because you can, by someone's actions, the things that they say, the posting on social media, which has been outrageous. So what have you been observing?
Okay, so many medical and mental health professionals are seeing signs of dementia, whether or not it's true. Like, again, he's not in front of us, so we can't really say. So I'm just going to talk about like some common symptoms, and you guys tell me what you think, okay? And keep in mind, like, some are dementia, some are Donald Trump, and some are both, okay? So we have like subtle short-term memory changes, difficulty finding the right words, snark. Changes in mood, getting more and more agitated, apathy, indifference, lack of compassion, right? Again, it's a toss-up, right? Is it him or is it whatever?
Yeah.
Difficulty completing tasks, confusion all around. Here's a big one, difficulty following storylines, failing sense of direction or like, imbalanced gait. Like we've seen him sway, even like he has a red, whatever, he's still swaying. Repetition and rumination, repeating over and over, I'm the greatest, or whatever else he's repeating. Difficulty adapting to change and poor judgment. Again, it's a toss-up as to whether or not, what exactly are we dealing with here. Variations in fluency and volume of speech, word substitutions and semantic errors, again, snark. So those are like some signs there, right? On top of that, again, like I can't officially diagnose someone with narcissistic personality disorder. I'll say again, however, there are many colleagues that I have that do believe believe that we're dealing with narcissism here. And so, like we have like grandiosity, sense of self-importance, fantasies about having or deserving titles or awards that one did not earn, right? That like, you'll gift it, you'll receive it from someone else. A strong sense of self-importance, an excessive need for admiration, even especially when you didn't deserve it, or a sense of entitlement, lack of empathy, frequent envy. A big one that we're seeing lately is paranoia. Like these people are out to get me, or they better watch it. And then you respond with threats to the Pope or other people, right? Then you combine both of these suckers, right? And you have a nightmare. So like with narcissism, you have like, the ego the size of a mountain and the self-esteem the size of a pea. And that's a very dangerous combination, because you don't have any substance to back up everything that you're saying. And so you go on attack and attack and attack. And so like people with narcissism are an empty shell of a person. And so they have to rely on admiration to feel any sense of self, because they don't have a sense of self. They don't even love themselves. Right. And so they can't love anybody else. So they measure their existence by admiration. So like the only thing that narcissists care about are attention, control, and power.
What?
Right? And so what we're seeing right now, more than anything, like you'll see the paranoia and the anger and the attacking when they are exposed. And that's what we call fragmenting, right? Like when you're grounded, you're emotionally or mentally grounded, you're fine. So if someone says like, oh, you're this, you'd be like, okay, that's your opinion. You don't really care about that because you're like, I know what I am and I know what I'm not. But when someone says something that you believe is partially true or so, you go on attack because you are not centered. So we're seeing that fragmentation along with what potential symptoms of dementia. And so, like, I think, if this is the case of what we're seeing, it's probably going to be about a month is my prediction, or less than a month before either someone does a 25th Amendment or
something catastrophic happens.
Or something, or he is no longer with us, because that's a progression of dementia.
I've heard a lot of medical professionals talk about this.
Yeah, like it's probably a few months or less. Because again, if that's what we're talking about, that's the progression of dementia.
Wow. I was going to say the 25th is not.
It's not on the table. Yeah, because no one will.
He stacked his cabinet that they're never.
One or the other, right? It's more likely.
But I agree with everything that you said. If you watch a cabinet meeting. The very first thing they're like, thank you so much to the president. Thank you so much. Like they're like heeding to like, you did such a great job. You're doing that. That's exactly what you were just explaining. And I also do think that there's a sundowning aspect to it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So he's falling asleep. Right.
Speeches after 5 o'clock because he wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning or something. Right?
Which is also typical.
True Socialing, which I follow him on True Social because I hate my life when I do that.
I was about to say, I don't know why you're doing this to yourself, but okay.
But he after that, he just rambles, and that's it. So everything that you just said is totally true.
Right. Confabulates, adds stories to, adds true, non-truths, etc.
Absolutely correct. But I do think that 25th that's not happening.
I agree with that. I've just said one or the other.
But
right?
No, yes. Well, I don't wish ill on anybody. He is one of the most people that I dislike most of all. But I also do think that his actions are going to cause, if God forbid, Iran hits us based on his actions in Iran, then NATO has to pop in and be like, oh, but we're doing this for somebody who is maybe not totally there, but we have to because Article 10, you got to do it.
Right.
And they're like, well, okay. But yeah, so I agree with everything you just said.
Well, but again, with dementia, as it progresses, he may get crazier.
Oh, he's going to.
Then, I'm trying to be polite. He may get he's going to. He's going to get crazier than even now, and they may be forced to do something.
And you said backed into a corner, he's going to get even crazier.
Right. It's like a wild and injured animal, right? That's how he feels like. And again, add to that the paranoia. Everyone is against me, so he's going to go even further.
There's a reason when Putin has a meeting, he's 30 feet away from everybody else. And
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay, I learned something.
He's in a meeting room. He's 30 feet because if somebody came in with a bomb,
wearing something on the.
Oh, he's still 30 feet. I did not know that.
He's outside.
He doesn't go anywhere near anybody. That's the paranoia aspect too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let's well, and the problem is that there are enablers. There are people who, go out there, and whether they think that that's how they continue to, like, maybe when something catastrophic happens, if and when or whatever, if he's no longer able to serve, they'll still take some of that glory that people buy into, right? Because there are people who love that he said, "Open the effing straight, you crazy bastards," and he said he wanted to annihilate an entire civilization. People are like, yeah,
and it's going to get worse, right?
Right. So,
more and more people will speak for him because he will not be able to.
Right, and they have to carry that same message and still make him happy because they think thereby they're making the base happy. Right. They're stirring that the red meat eaters. Jeff's calling from Elgin. Hey, Jeff, what's on your mind, my friend? Sorry to keep you on hold so long. What's going on?
No, that's all right. Happy Friday. Hope everybody's staying
Happy
hydrated.
Friday.
Hello.
The doctor's insight right there has just thrown me for a loop, and now all my questions have changed. But I just want to know, of those things, we're talking about dementia, we're talking about narcissistic personality disorder. Is there anything in that constellation of symptoms or potential disorders that can get you off the hook criminally in courts as a claim that you were not responsible for your actions?
Interesting.
That is interesting.
We're headed that way with Trump or his family members. Any day that he is out of office, I feel like the charges got to come down. He still has pending court cases that someone could revive and come back and move into sentencing phase potentially. Who knows what the Supreme Court says about that? But I want to know. Yeah, these things seem evident, and yeah, there seem to be symptoms. But does any of it let anybody off the hook for not being responsible for their actions criminally? Or even civilly, I guess, for that matter.
That is a great question. So initially people were talking about like narcissism, like he can't be president because of narcissism. He actually could be president because of narcissism. Like that doesn't hold up on anything. Dementia, on the other hand, can. The difference is that before he's shown signs of dementia, he was already doing a lot of criminal, and inappropriate acts. So I don't think anything would get him off the hook at this point.
And the Supreme Court gave him immunity, anything that he did.
Correct. Thank you for adding that. And he has immunity anyway.
As president.
Right? As president, yes. As president. States is different story.
We have questions. We have questions about what he does in his capacity as a private citizen, what he does in his capacity as a part of his campaign or part of his businesses. And those were some things that the Supreme Court did leave, maybe not open, but did not pin down anything on. So I do think some of what Trump has done in his private life, some of what candidate Trump did, and some of what Trump as a business person has been doing while president are still fair game for prosecution, absolutely. But I also think that at some point someone has to relitigate that in front of a fairer court, because at what point are you no longer acting as president because your actions and what you're doing has nothing to do with your position description?
I have no faith.
That he's far exceeded what even a traditional whatever that the Heritage Foundation likes to be, even a traditionalist interpretation of the Constitution has for his enumerated powers as president. So I think the case can be made that those things. You can't have an action as a president when it's not something that the president's allowed to do. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway, that's your Friday food for thought. I also want to say I got my tires changed today, and the guy changed my radio station on me. Thinking
we are so glad for him.
I had Jonas Esposito on, and I left it like that when I got out of the car, and I came back and my station was changed, and I'm like, oh no, he's either trying to be like a microtransgression or something. I don't know.
What station did he change it to, if I may ask? As long as it wasn't the answer.
It was like 890 or something, so it was like
that would track. That's conservative radio.
Oh, so a little microaggression there, not so microaggression.
Yeah, really. It's full on. That's macro.
Anyways, you guys have a great weekend.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You too.
Take care, Jeff. Let's take a break here. We have more conversation coming up after the break on WCPT 820 Heartland Signal, KKNW 1150 Seattle, Washington, KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul. And of course, we're on Facebook. Hope you're watching live there as well. And we have in studio with us Dr. Suzana Flores. She's a doctor of psychology. You can go to NOLA-wellness.net to learn more about the work that she does. And Dan Schaefer, the host of the Palatini, available wherever you listen to podcasts, in addition to Tuesdays with Josie. More after this. Don't go anywhere. We're almost done. Don't change that radio. If you're fixing someone's car, leave it alone.
The latest politics.
We both took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Global news.
We do know one thing. This tragedy would never have happened but for Russia's needless invasion of Ukraine.
And business updates.
These are banks that people rely on to get cash, and we need to make sure that they are protected.
And factual conversations. WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack in the $6 Biggie bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. Cancer screening tests can help keep the person you love around longer by detecting changes before cancer develops, or catch it early when it may be easier to treat. And many tests are available for free or covered by insurance. It's time to sound like a broken record. Tell all your friends and family, I love you. Get screened. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn.
You're listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
If you're listening to this station right now, you've definitely heard my voice before. Hi, I'm Hawk.
And I'm Pete. And we're with Source Solar, your local source for solar. Source Solar is Chicagoland's premier solar installer, providing solutions for over 1,000 homeowners and business owners across Illinois and Iowa.
With over a decade of industry experience and deep roots here in Chicago, we have the expertise to help your transition to clean, renewable, resilient energy.
We can guarantee that we save you money day one without any out-of-pocket cost to you. This means you have an instant ROI, instant payback, and can save money to add to your bottom line day one.
At Source Solar, we source everything as local as possible, meaning we always carry the Made in USA sticker.
Find us online at www.source.solar. Stop in our office at 5710 North Northwest Highway or give us a call at 773-985-3992.
And don't forget to ask for Hawk
or Pete.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you for joining us as we head into the home stretch for our drive home. Joining me in studio is guest co-host. Right now, they're both my guest co-hosts for this hour. Dr. Suzana Flores, Doctor of Psychology. Go to NOLA-wellness.net to learn more about the work that she does. And Dan Schaefer, the host of Palatini and Tuesdays with Josie, wherever you listen to your podcast. Don't forget, you can also watch our live stream because I know some folks maybe want to see what we look like. I'm just saying, there we are. There's our faces.
If you want to, sure.
I don't have a baseball hat on. What was that, Rue?
Nobody wants to look at me.
Oh, stop, Rue. That is Rue, who is joining us, who is, he did not want to be on the microphone because he wasn't sure if he could refrain from swearing about what's in the news. And I said, well, how about in the last segment where you'll have less opportunity to lose our license for the station? Just saying. So let's get to some phone calls. We have Al in Franklin Park. Al, what's on your mind, my friend?
Hi. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
I was going to ask about narcissistic breakdown or narcissistic collapse. And, I listen to Elizabeth Kronos McLaughlin, and she does a broadcast 3 days a week. And, in 2024, he came close to that with the walls closing in on him. And but then, of course, we elected him president again and fed his narcissism. And same case now, the walls are closing in on him again.
Right.
And does your guest have anything to say about narcissistic collapse and where he might be with that.
Well, the thing that narcissists fear the most is exposure, right? Like more than anything in the world, it's vulnerability. And with everything that's going on, like I'm sure his people are trying to hide certain posts or certain social media from him, but it's an uncontrollable force. Social media is an uncontrollable force. So I'm sure that he's searching and he's seeing all the negative posts about him. So he is going to what we call fragment even further. So he's going to get more angry, more paranoid. It's going to show they're not known for restraint, social media has given him, the ultimate voice, right? So it's going to be uncontrollable, and we're just going to see like crazier and crazier. I know it's not a clinical term, but he's going to be losing it. Your term, right? Like your phrasing, like more and more.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't it what Nixon would walk around the halls and talk to the portraits?
I think I heard something about that, right?
He would
so your
just
sense of reality gets blurred, right?
And then when your team sees that happening, they're like, well, what the heck is going on?
I'm pretty
right
sure
now?
they are seeing things like this
sure
happening.
They have already, yeah.
And they're trying to conceal as best as they can. But that's the thing with dementia, like we were talking about, would the 25th Amendment be possible? And it's like, perhaps most of us think no. But if you know the progression of dementia and narcissism combined, like I don't know, like they may be forced to do something. I don't know. But it's going to get worse.
They have the nuclear codes.
Yeah, that
also
too.
Terrifying.
Yeah,
yes,
very.
Okay. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent question, Al. I appreciated this. Thank you. You have a good weekend, okay, my friend?
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
See ya.
Yep. And we have another caller who wants to talk about your analysis and the conversation that we're having. It's Paul calling back from the first hour.
Hi,
I'm
Paul.
glad you have a little bit more space for you. How you doing, Paul? What's on your mind?
Yeah, I wanted to ask about, don't personality disorders have crossover syndrome? For instance, like a patient might have some of the syndrome from narcissistic, maybe 3 or 4 out of the 9 or 10 attributes, but not enough to be classic or clinical, and then have some from another, like antisocial or borderline. But Donald Trump seems to have, like, for instance, he seems to enjoy seeing other people's suffering, especially when he's the cause of it. So it seems like he has a mixed syndrome of personality disorders. And the other thing about dementia, I wonder, is that, this is what happened to my mom, is that what appears to be dementia could also be an indication of more advanced congestive heart failure. That's what happened to my mom. So they said she didn't really have dementia because there were times when she was just fine, and then other times we're like, what the hell happened?
So she had some cognitive deficits because of her illness. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Okay. So what we're really seeing, yes, we're seeing cognitive deficits. Whether, again, if it's dementia, if it's not, it's most likely. Many people think that it is dementia. You're seeing the cognitive deficits along with, the paranoia that does also go along with dementia and is also a symptom of narcissism. Now, you mentioned, like, can his narcissism or can his symptoms be a cocktail of other personality disorders? Absolutely. That's under the category of cluster B personality disorders. Now, what that means, it's chronic, it's forever. We don't have a treatment for it, but someone can have signs of borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder. I could definitely see some histrionic traits, like he has to be the king of the world. They tend to be very theatrical. Their emotions are over the top. They tend to also be very sexualized, like overly sexualized. So we see some, some signs of that as well. Inappropriate sexual behavior, like, hey, I would date my daughter if she wasn't my daughter, on live television. So yeah, we're definitely seeing signs of that too.
Yeah, I think the best treatment is impeachment at this point.
Well, he's been impeached twice, but
it doesn't matter.
It's not doing anything.
We're still in the Senate to actually do something.
Yeah, there won't be any 25th Amendment or impeachment under these circumstances.
No. Yeah. Okay.
Excellent.
Well, then we're going to see an outburst of even, more erratic behavior.
How wild can this get?
It's going to get wild. Like, again, if it's dementia, it's going to get wilder.
Yeah, we're going to end an entire civilization, and that doesn't stop this from happening. Like, that doesn't
At what
Nobody
point
stepping
does
in.
it stop?
Yeah,
Is what you're saying,
more
right?
do you need? Yeah. At what point do leveler heads prevail? I don't know. Okay. Anyway, thanks, Paul. I think we can talk about. Can we talk about like movies or television? By the way, Dr.
Disney
Flores
movie.
is the author of
Untamed: The Psychology of Marvel's Wolverine, and also Facehooked: How Facebook Affects Our Emotions, Relationships, and Lives.
I think I'm going to watch. I'm going to have to go back and watch the Wolverine and Deadpool
and Wolverine.
Yes. Are you a fan of all of these movies?
Wolverine, yes. Deadpool, I've never seen.
Okay.
Oh,
the last movie was really good.
The book sounds interesting, though. So
Tell us a little bit about the.
Yeah, so
about the-
I decided to analyze this character as if he were a real person because he's trauma personified. So I'm a specialist in PTSD and complex PTSD. And I really became fascinated by this character when I went through my own trauma. And I was just like, I can write this guy, right? Like, he is surly but loyal. He pushes people away, and he still wants closeness. And he is in constant pain. And so I was like, I think this is modern mythology. Comic books are modern mythology. So I really kind of got into this kind of work. And now I present at Comic-Cons talking about the mythology and psychology of comic book characters.
Untamed, available. I know it's on Amazon. We bought a copy for a friend of ours.
Yes.
So it's available on Amazon and or go
to your local bookstore and you can request it. Yep.
Outstanding. Yeah.
Cool.
Do you like action? So I've been watching a lot of Jason Statham movies.
Well, I can't read, so I don't. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, but that actually sounds really cool. I'm gonna.
Thank you.
grab-
Yeah, my favorite character is like oppression and the M word for mutant, and so it is on the societal oppression of minorities. And X-Men represent the minority in America.
I'm definitely going to get that.
There are
Okay,
levels.
awesome.
There's levels and layers. Rue,
Yes.
before we go, do you, as a bartender, I don't know if you want to bring your professional skills into this, but for a weekend cocktail, what do you recommend folks do to unwind with the madness around them? Do you have a preferred cocktail for folks?
Well, now that you mention it, I think that it has to be the old-fashioned.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, because the old-fashioned, it's bourbon and it's got it's sweet. It's like a warm hug.
We all need a warm hug.
Yeah,
it is a cocktail that we deserve.
I put him on the spot for that. I just realized I just got thirsty all of a sudden, so I appreciate that very much.
So happy to know.
Thank you.
Old fashioned now.
Thank you. Well, I want to thank all of my guests in the studio. Thank you to Dr. Suzana Flores for. By the way, folks can go to nola-wellness.net and learn more about the work that she does. Dan Schaefer, the host of the Politini, and also Tuesdays with Josie, available where you listen to your podcasts. And don't make it so long before you come back. And Dr. Flores will be back soon because she's in town for a while. She just told me she's here till possibly May and beyond. So let's have her back as soon as possible. Maybe next Friday. I don't know.
Love to.
All right, let's do that. And Rue, thank you. See?
It's been my pleasure.
See you later. Thank you, Paul Shivari. Everyone have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.
In 1776, we defied a corrupt king, and the America we love was born from that defiance. Now it's time to do it again. America is in crisis, but patriots across the country are standing up to save her for ourselves and our posterity. Show your support with the No Kings lapel pin, a 1-inch by 1-inch standard American flag lapel pin embedded with our No Kings symbol. So much better than that tacky red hat. It's a subtle but powerful way to say you've had enough of wannabe dictators and you're doing something about it. Every day, keep our movement going by wearing this pin that clearly says what freedom-loving Americans are thinking. There are no kings in America, and there never will be. Go to store.politicalvoicesnetwork.com. That's store.politicalvoicesnetwork.com. Get your No Kings lapel pin now.
File now with TurboTax and Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File in the Credit Karma app.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. Vice President J.D. Vance is warning Iran not to try to play the U.S. during talks this weekend in Pakistan on ending the war. Saka Magani has our report.
Before boarding Air Force Two for Islamabad.
If the Iranians are willing to negotiate in good faith, we're certainly willing to extend the open hand.
But something other than that will not be well received. Hours later, President Trump wrote on social media the only reason Iranians are even alive today is for negotiations, days after explicitly threatening to wipe out their civilization. But the fragile ceasefire appears on the precipice, with seemingly irreconcilable differences. Make or break. Pakistan's prime minister calls this stage of talks make or break. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
Meanwhile, Israel and Lebanon are to hold talks next week, but an Israeli strike killed at least 13 Lebanese security personnel in southern Lebanon today. Isabel Debray has more from Beirut.
Israel says it wants these negotiations to focus on the future of its relationship with the Lebanese government and focus on specifically disarming Hezbollah. The Lebanese government wants to disarm Hezbollah. It's actually been trying to for a long time now, but it obviously faced constraints because Hezbollah remains very powerful. However, disagreements between these two sides are already beginning to emerge because Israel says it wants to be able to continue striking Hezbollah, to continue its fierce military campaign, even as these negotiations are beginning next week. While we do know for the Lebanese government that they will insist on a ceasefire in order to start these negotiations.
And the Artemis II astronauts are headed for a Pacific splashdown after their trip around the moon. The Orion capsule is expected to hit 33 times the speed of sound as it re-enters Earth's atmosphere. A recovery ship is in position awaiting the crew's arrival, along with military planes and helicopters. This is AP News. In Northern California, murder charges. Jennifer King has the case.
Authorities in Yolo County announced charges in a deadly explosion of illegal fireworks at a warehouse last July.
The most serious charges are 7 counts of second-degree murder for each of the victims.
Yolo County's Deputy District Attorney Clara Navity says a total of 8 people face 30 charges in the case, including murder, conspiracy, and possession of illegal assault weapons.
Those counts allege a decade-long conspiracy which turned the property of a former Sheriff's Lieutenant, Sam Machado, into the Northern California hub for an illegal enterprise.
The blast was so strong it blew open doors at neighboring houses. 7 people were killed.
This is not a case just about fireworks. They are devices that have so much more explosive fireworks than the law allows that they can't be considered fireworks.
I'm Jennifer King.
There's more news at apnews.com. I'm Ben Thomas. Thanks for listening.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
The Ben Joravsky Show.
The vast majority of people, they're vaguely aware who Susana Mendoza is. She's been comptroller for a while. She's pretty high profile. She wants to be mayor of the city of Chicago. That's pretty obvious. So really what you have to do is think about what I just said. She's been the comptroller since 2016. It's a relatively high profile seat. She made a name for herself by being the attack dog, and she was fearless. And I thank her for her service. She used to come on my radio show. Remember when I had a radio show?
The Ben Joravsky Show. Saturdays at 5 p.m. on WCPT.
There are 1,000 ways to say it.
Nope. Knock it off. Shut it down. Dream on. No dice. Give it a rest. Not a chance.
Or just
all text. You focus on the road.
As a passenger, you have the power to prevent an accident. There are 1,000 ways to stop a distracted driver. Choose one.
A message from CTIA.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
What's on your to-do list? Check your mail? Get groceries? How about getting your annual vaccines? We can help you check that off.
You've got this.
Yes, you do. Because we've got you. With local vaccine events and access to transportation, protecting yourself and your loved ones is not a chore anymore.
You've got this.
A message from the Aging and Disability Vaccination Collaborative, powered by U.S. Aging. Funded by the U.S. Administration for Community Living through a grant to U.S. Aging. Learn more at yougotthis.usaging.org.
You know the national parks, but you may not know that they're supported by a strong foundation. A foundation for the future. We are the National Park Foundation. And together with your support, we are building a bold future where national parks are vibrant, protected, and welcoming. Today, tomorrow, forever. Donate at nationalparks.org/foundation.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
Welcome to the bar. It's political. Step up to the bar. Thinking critical. Think at the bar, whoever you are, the politics bar. Sean Smith, Pierce, and Jody Hamilton.
Lordy, 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 it's Friday, Jody.
It's Friday.
Friday! Woohoo!
And we do get a live Lonnie politics bar today on WCPT.
Yes. Yes. Look, we had a lot of fun this morning on WCPT and AM 950. And look, we obviously, you are going to be on another show after the bar tonight. You are going to go hang out with Tara Devlin show.
Sirius XM. Yes.
We got some great folks coming in. Look, this is good timing, folks. It's a good day, good evening. Hopefully you have had a good week. Hey, remember, we're all still alive. Civilization is still here, whether you like it or not. So thank you.
So far.
So far. Knock on wood. Thank you, by the way, to everybody coming into us from all of our great radio affiliates. Whether you are listening on WCPT AM 820 in Chicago or AM 950 in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Maybe you're listening down in the Georgia area on Georgia Now Radio, or maybe you are listening in Tennessee on the Detour Talk. Maybe you're listening somewhere else on Progressive Voices Radio worldwide. And, you could be one of those future people. Well, maybe you are.
Like future people.
We do. Maybe you are like one of the astronauts on the Artemis mission, and you didn't get a catch up on your Politics Bar podcast while you were in space, so you have to catch up later. Best way to do it, by the way, go subscribe at thepoliticsbar.com. $6 a month. Get you the podcast ad-free. It also gets you the drink of the day with the recipe and the news on tap. And that drink of the day today, it's, how do I put this? Look, I'll put a pin in it. We'll talk about it later.
That's one way to do it.
Oh, boy. So, since we saw each other this morning, no new updates on the Melania thing. Not a whole lot of updates on the war, not war, Schrodinger ceasefire kind of a thing. Apparently, Bibi did get read the riot act. Stop freaking bombing people.
You think?
Yeah, well, at least while they're trying to do peace, but whatever. But Strait of Hormuz still not open. We've got the details in today's news on tap. That first round, a war on pause. We've got the live feed today from The Guardian. Trump is still bellowing, oh, yeah, well, if you don't pay attention to Vance, whatever. Anyway, Strait of Hormuz shipping traffic, though, remains effectively to standstill. There are a couple of ships. I think there's been a total of about 12 or 15 ships that have gone through.
I think so. It's not a lot.
No, especially when you're looking at normally 130 a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Currently, let me look at the costs of the war. Dollar-wise, that is. Today's national average gas price from AAA, $4.15.3. That's down a penny from yesterday. Current price of a barrel of oil, and remember, this is not the price of a barrel of oil that you would pick up today. I believe, what do they call it? The drop price? Drop price, I think, is $1.47. Regular price of barrel of oil, what they say, it's basically what you would purchase it at in 2 months from now. It's $97 to $98 a barrel of oil, so
it's kind of back down to normal.
Normal before was lower than 70. So we think they're going to find a way out of this, but we're not 100% sure. Right. Exactly. So that's, they even the market doesn't necessarily trust. And look, we've seen this week everybody from Ucker Carlson. I won't use the first letter because I use a different letter than other people do. But Megyn Kelly and Alex Jones. Alex Jones. I would ask Bob to do that, but I believe after today's podcast over Bob Seska, he's going to be on vacation for a week. So
done.
Yep. Look. He's going to be on the beach, hanging out with Kimberly. It's perfect.
He can do that, though. I mean, he can do Alex Jones.
Yeah, he can do a great Alex Jones. Also, he can hang out with Kimberly on the beach. I mean, you know.
I know. In the refrigerator, it's awesome.
So next week, actually, we've got some great people coming in on our guest list. Thank you for